Hello my dear friends, hope all of you are doing well by keeping yourself safe. Please do maintain all the COVID protocols seriously. So I have already discussed about the combination of the capacitors and also on to special symmetric type of capacitor like the cylindrical and the spherical one. And I have also calculated their respective capacitance in my previous video. So today I will start with the discussing about the energy that has been stored when a capacitor of capacitance capital C is charged from 0 to a specific potential. So without any further delay, let's begin. So the energy stored in a capacitor. So from the figure you can see there is the two capacitor plate placed in parallel, that is 1 and 2, and you can see there is a charge that is accumulated in the outer surface of the plate. Here it is positive charge, here it is negatively charged, this plate is. So this is the direction of the electric field. The energy stored in a capacitor is nothing but the electrical potential energy, and it is related to the voltage and the charge on the capacitor. Suppose at any moment of the charging of the capacitor from 0 to a fixed potential capital V, the capacitor has the instantaneous amount of charge, the small q, at any point of its charging, that is small q is equal to C times V, where C is the capacitance and V is the instantaneous voltage, q is the instantaneous charge. Now if we try to move another small dq amount of charge and want to store it on the plate, so we need to find the work done against the electric field. So what is the elementary work done? So you can see the elementary work done, what it will be, dW is equal to the potential at the point at this moment, that is small v, times the elementary charge. So if I replace the potential by q by c, so it becomes dW is equal to q by c dq. So what is the total work done? So the total work done in delivering a charge of capital Q to the capacitor plate, what it will be, W, I need to integrate from the charge will be from 0 to the final value of capital Q times 1 by C Q dQ. So it comes out like Q square by 2C, capital Q square by 2C. Now if I replace that capital Q, what is capital Q? This is the final stored voltage in the stored charge in the capacitor. So it means Q is equal to CV, where V is the final potential between the two capacitor plate. So if I replace Q is equal to CV, then the potential energy stored in the capacitor plate, what it will be, W is equal to Q square by 2C. I put Q is equal to CV. Now 1 by 2C C square V square. So the final expression looks like half C V square. So as we have already discussed before that the electrostatic energy is the conservative one. So the potential energy is independent of the manner how we build up the charge on the capacitor plate. When the capacitor discharges, the potential energy is released and it is stored in the so-called in the electric field in between the two plates. We may have a look at this formalism of releasing the potential, releasing the potential energy. So we can see now we can consider one parallel plate capacitor having the area of capital A, and the separation in between the parallel plate is D. So the potential energy expression looks like E is equal to Q square by 2C. We put Q is equal to A sigma, where sigma is the surface charge density of the parallel plate capacitor, and if C I put epsilon naught A by D. You can see from here this is the capacitance expression for the parallel plate. So what it becomes like half of A square sigma square divided times D by epsilon naught A. Now if I try to put the value of the sigma, that is E epsilon naught, so what it becomes, E is equal to half of AD times epsilon naught E square. So the energy density of the electric field means energy per unit volume. You can see the AD, it means the space in between the two parallel plate capacitor. So if I divided the E by AD, so it comes the energy density of the electric field, that is if I express this like with a small u is equal to E by AD, so it comes out half of epsilon naught E square. So the energy density is proportional to the square of the electric field. You can see from here it is proportional to E square. So far what we have learned, that the capacitor can store electric charge and the energy. The capacitor have used like the filter in the DC power supplies and can store energy in the application of the pulse laser. They block the AC current and not the DC counterpart. A capacitor can be slowly charged to a necessary voltage and can discharge quickly to provide the energy. So now we will discuss on the charging and the discharging mechanism of a capacitor. So we will discuss on the charging and the discharging mechanism. So the charging and the discharging of a capacitor. So you can see this is the common RC circuit, and where a resistance and the capacitance are in series connection, and this is the switch, and this is the biasing voltage of delta V. So when the switch is on, it means the A and B point touches together, the charges start to build, and it reaches maximum after some time, not at that moment, but after some time, very small time, the charge that has been stored in the capacitor reaches maximum. Now if we wish to consider the charging and the discharging of the capacitor, we must look at an intermediate time when the charges are on the way to build up, or we can say that the capacitor is in charging process. So at any moment from the Kirchhoff's law, we can write that at an intermediate time, we can write from this loop, you can see from the figure I have drawn here, the delta V minus of, for the capacitor, the voltage drop is Q by C, minus R of dq dt for this resistance, this is the IR from the Ohm's law, is equal to 0. The solution of this equation looks like capital Q is equal to QF times 1 minus e to the power minus t by RC. Now there are three different conditions. At t equal to 0, you can see the Q is equal to 0. It means at the initial point when the time is 0, there is no charge on the capacitor plate. At t is equal to infinity, QF is a final charge, so Q is equal to QF. And at t is equal to RC, where we can express it like a another quantity like tau, you can see that Q becomes the Q becomes the 63% of the final value. Now when this A and B point are separated, it means the capacitor is on the way of its discharging. So after the charging, I separate these 2 points A and B, so the capacitor starts to discharge. Then from this equation, you have the equation Q by C, because delta V is no longer there because A and B point are separated, so delta V will not be there. So we have this equation Q by C minus R of dq dt is equal to 0, and the solution of this equation looks like Q is equal to Q0 times e to the power minus t by RC. There is also three different criteria we can get. You can see at t equal to infinity, you can see Q is equal to 0. It means when the capacitor starts to discharge, at infinite time the Q will get 0. At t equal to RC, Q is equal to 37% of its initial value, 37% of Q0. And at t equal to 0, the capacitor starts to discharge, so the Q is the initial value, that is Q0. So you can see from these two graphs, this is the charging plot, this is the discharging, and Q follows the relation Q is equal to QF times 1 minus exponential t by RC. And so you can see the Q starts like this, Q behaves like this with time. So this is the Q, this is over time, and at t equal to tau is equal to RC. So RC is called the time constant of this RC circuit. RC is called the time constant. So at tau equal to RC, this is 0.63 QF, means the Q becomes 63% of its final value QF. In coming back to the discharging plot, you can see for the at t equal to 0, it is the initial value, that is Q0, and when t increases, it gets decayed exponentially. So it follows the relation Q is equal to Q0 times exponential minus of t by RC. So at here also at t equal to tau is equal to RC, where RC is the time constant of the circuit, you can see the Q becomes the 37% of its initial value, that is Q0. So at t equal to tau equal to RC, it becomes 0.37 Q0. So the time constant of the RC circuit, that is the RC, that is the product of the resistance and the capacitance, is called the time constant of the circuit. This is the time required for the charge on a charging capacitor to rise 63% of its final value. So my friends, I am concluding my today's discussion here. If you are new on this channel, please do follow, like, share and subscribe Invisible Threads as much as possible with your friends and family. Don't forget to make your valuable comments in the comment section of the video. See you all in the next video. Till then, thank you.